Training for your next big race and not sure about your nutrition? Well, Precision Fuel and Hydration are sponsoring the show this month, and their free online planner has you covered. It calculates exactly how much carbs, sodium and fluid you need to smash your goals. Me and the team at Inside Running Podcast swear by the 90 gram resealable gel to have on our long runs. It's been a game changer for us. If you want to crush your race day strategy, hit the link in the show notes, try the planner and grab 15% off your first order with the code IR-SPRING2025. That's IR-SPRING2025. Hit the link, grab your discount and crush those goals. Now on to the episode.
Child, that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me.
Welcome to episode number 409 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for being with us for another week. We got a huge show. It's massive. We got Sydney Marathon to recap. We got the Diamond League final as well. Some big Aussie results there. We got some whispers. Croaks on the loose. Oh, Croaks on the loose is written in this agenda. Here we go. Might have something going on a bit later on there, people. I've just seen that for the first time. Listen to question. I've got a big name co-host as well. Join us. My co-host up in Canberra, as always, Bradley Croker. How are you?
Good, thanks, Brady. Just coming down from a big weekend. It was great vibe in Sydney. I've always been a little bit critical of the Sydney Marathon, thinking it's not quite World Marathon Major worthy, but there was an amazing buzz in the days leading up and even out on the road. And I was probably standing at a relatively quiet spot on the course, I'd say, and it was still enjoyable.
Yeah. Looking forward to discussing it all with you. We have been talking about running since last Thursday, and it is Monday night, a couple of different events. So listeners, that's why we brought in our co-host, to bring some extra energy. She wasn't on the streets of Sydney, but I'm sure she's been observing all the content coming out of it. Ellie Pashley, Olympian, welcome back to the Inside Running Podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Brady. Thanks for having me. I've had so much FOMO all weekend, and even in the days leading into the marathon, it looked like there was so much happening up there. So yeah, I was very jealous of all you guys.
Ellie, I'm looking forward to getting your take on what your athlete did yesterday and how he went about the race off no training. We'll get to that at some point.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. How you going though, Ellie? Haven't talked, about 5 or 6 weeks ago you're on the show. How's things progressed since then?
yeah, going all right. It doesn't feel like very long ago that I was on the show, so I don't feel like too much has changed since then, but maybe running a tiny bit more, just still building. Still unfit, but still working on it. So, yeah, not much to report here.
Okay. Haven't noticed like significant differences yet in like heart rate data or paces that you hit in workouts, things like that?
Not really. My workouts, it's a little bit hard to tell with where I do a lot of them. I've done a couple of thresholds on the treadmill, and I've noticed I'm getting a little bit quicker there, but I feel like not a lot has changed on my other workouts that I do out on the roads near here. I've done a couple with Jules, which have been a bit harder. So I think the fitness is coming. It just, it doesn't really feel like it's clicked yet. But I'm starting to feel a bit better on long runs. And I'm handling the amount of mileage I'm doing at the moment. But it's just, I probably need to creep it up a little bit more, I think, to really start feeling fitter. So we'll see. Body's holding up so far, though.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it? And like a race selection, like when does it get to a stage where you're like, all right, we're fit enough to start circling things that might be a month or 6 weeks away?
Jules told me I'm not allowed to do that yet, because I said to him I want to start racing, and he said, I think his words were, "It will be embarrassing if you race now and you'll get flogged."
Yeah.
He told you that before yesterday or after yesterday?
Yeah, this was before yesterday, so I'll remind him of that. And he also thinks he thinks it's better for me. He feels like if I put races on the calendar, I'll start pushing things a little too hard. And he's like, I actually think it's better for you. You don't need motivation to train. You're more likely to, push things too hard. So he'd rather I just wait a little bit longer and then pick races closer. Once I get sort of close to racing, then start jumping into some, but rather than put them on the calendar. So he's probably right, but yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking, team, that we kind of whip through our trainer weeks a bit this week, and then we can jump straight into the Diamond League and Sydney Marathon stuff. Croaks, you happy with that?
Sounds good. My training week's pretty much non-existent.
Well, do you want to go first then? And then we'll go back to Ali for her training week, and then I can go with mine, which will lead into the Sydney chat. We might have a guest popping in as well, one of the stars from the roads yesterday.
So I've still been dealing with this calf sort of issue, and I haven't wanted to rush back too soon. So I didn't do anything till we got to Sydney, and then we had that Brooks event on the Thursday night where they were doing like a bit of a shakeout run, wear test. And so we basically started at one side of Circular Quay and headed over towards Opera House. And we're going to go like Botanical Gardens. I think that's what it's called. But that was shut. So it was just basically out and back. My original plan was to do just some run walk, like 3 minutes of running, 2 minutes walk, something like that. But when we started out, like it was so slow and there were so many people around. I remember looking down after about a kilometre and it's like 6.5 minute Ks. And
real pissed off, Ali.
I wasn't pissed off. It's just like it's
straight to the front.
It's not enjoyable. You could imagine it, Ellie. Like you're in Circular Quay, like one of the most popular places in Sydney, at like 6:15 at night on a Thursday, and there's just people walking everywhere. So you're just zigzagging and then so first probably 8-9 minutes is like absolutely no pain at all, and then just on the way back just wasn't painful, but just started to get like a little bit tight. So I knew I was done, so I stopped at 15 minutes. I thought that was enough, and Brady and the rest of the group sort of went on for another. You must have done like another 5 minutes out, 5 minutes back, or something, Brady.
Yeah, I think we maybe hit like 27 or 26 minutes in total.
Yeah. So I did 15 minutes, 6 minute Ks. Wasn't overly happy with the outcome. I would have loved to have just got the whole 15 minutes without feeling anything. But then after the cruise, I was going to jump on the light rail from Circular Quay all the way back to like Kensington, but the light rail wasn't working from Circular Quay to Town Hall. So the only way for me to get there was to basically run. And because it was already a late night, I wanted to get there. So I started jogging.
To run, not to walk.
No, well, it's fair. It's probably a kilometre or so. But it actually warmed up. And by the end of I was feeling absolutely nothing by the end of the run. And I'm like, oh, this is positive. I'm not sure whether it was the couple of beers I had on the cruise or what. But, so that was the only run that I've done for the week. So it's not feeling too bad. I reckon I probably can start some run walks, just not too long at just 3 minute runs or something like that.
How many what's the go with Valencia? How many weeks we got? 12, 15,
13. Yeah.
It's coming around quick, isn't it?
I won't be going to Valencia. I can call it.
Give it 2 more weeks. Call it 11 weeks.
I can call it now. Like I need 4 to 5 weeks of running. Well, like off this calf, I would need 2 weeks of jogging before I can even think about doing a session. Then I would need 4 weeks to get to a point where I can probably start marathon training. So that's 6 weeks. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it.
It would be a stressful, unenjoyable block too if you're trying to chase fitness on a body that's, you're like pushing to the limit basically.
And to be honest, I would prefer to spend that, $3,000-$4,000 on like a legit exercise bike that I put in the garage and I start using that as part of my training routine where I'm doing some extra cross training. That's going to be more valuable for me than going over to Valencia and running 230, 235.
Was this the same calf as your Achilles issues have been on, or the other one?
So it's the opposite one to my insertional Achilles stuff, but it's the same side as the Achilles that flared up after I had the flu. So,
okay.
But it's generally feeling okay. Because even on the Friday night after the on event, Brady, I then sort of jogged up to the light rail and it felt pretty good. So I don't think I'm too far away.
Okay. That's good. That's good. You did mention last week that you feel a bit lost because you haven't been running much. Like, have you put anything in place? Because you're talking about like your mental health's a bit impacted. I always find when I have time off running and stuff, I hear almost a different person to be around. Like, do you substitute it with something else in your life, or you just don't think about it as much, or like how do you get
Uh,
around that?
I struggle. Like I'm still doing gym, so I still go twice a week to the gym. But outside of that, yeah, it's just a waiting game. And I guess that's the one advantage of going and getting a scan is it sort of takes the guesswork out of what is it, how long until I can get back. Whereas that scan might give you some answers. But at the end of the day, it's these calf things. It doesn't really change the treatment. It's rest and slowly building. And I feel like I've got a pretty good gauge of when I can start back. But it's basically 3 weeks now since I first heard it, and 3 weeks when you don't run feels like freaking like 3 months. It's like because you spend so much time doing it, and part of you is lost. It's different to when I had the heart stuff. I feel like I sort of accepted that a little bit more because I knew that all right, this is really serious, and I need to respect what the health professionals say. Whereas this one, it's like, oh, like I know I'll be out there soon. It's just when will it be? And you always know then the first month of coming back is just just miserable.
Yeah,
It's not that fun, but you need to do it to progress the fitness.
you do. Okay, we'll keep tracking you, Ali. Give us a trainer week. What were the workouts last week? How many Ks? All the nitty
Uh,
gritty.
yeah, sorry, I should have got this up, Bob. I was just
Nah,
deeply listening to Brad's
we're moving quick this week. We're moving
injury
quick.
injury talk. I reckon I did about 110 Ks or so last week. I actually had a down week last week. So I had Monday was definitely a rest day. And then my workouts, I did a threshold on the treadie actually on Wednesday, which was quite good because it was horrendous weather here. It was like 70 km/h winds, rain, and with the threshold, it's just they're sort of the worst sessions to do in those conditions because you can't keep your heart rate down. Like as soon as you're running into a headwind, it just spikes. And then for me at the moment, I basically have to jog to keep it below threshold. So I jumped on the treadmill and I did, let me see, sorry, eight by 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was 8 by 4 minutes with 40 or 45 seconds rest. And I think it was on 17 kilometers an hour, which is just over 3:30s roughly treadmill. So who knows what pace that is. But I think I've written underneath here, time moves so slowly on the treadmill. So I felt like I was on there for about 6 hours. I don't know how you do all these, Brad.
What do you have on when you're actually doing the treadmill sessions? Do you have any music or anything blaring?
Yeah, I watch Netflix on the iPad, and on the elliptical or bike, I like watching stuff like sports documentaries, like the Tour de France doco or something like that. But I actually find when I'm running, if I'm watching something where there's too much movement and too much action, it makes me feel a bit dizzy.
Yeah.
So I tend to just watch a show that's more low key. I think I was watching Quarterback maybe this
You don't
day.
watch stuff, do you, Croaks?
No, so I might
Yeah,
for warm
odd
up.
down there on the surf coach.
Yeah,
Remember, Moose
like
watches movies and stuff too.
Oh, do
like
you guys not watch anything while you run?
Not
no,
while
like I
doing
would.
workouts.
I
When I'm
would
easy
for
jogging, I would.
yeah, like I would for a warm up and a cool down for a treadmill session. But when I'm actually doing the session itself, I'll have like a Spotify playlist going.
You and me, Croaks,
And I
headphones
find
in.
that makes time go fairly quick, especially if you've got a playlist that you enjoy the whole 30 minutes of what's playing. That sort of gets me up and about.
Yeah, maybe I should do that because it does make me feel a bit funny, I reckon, when I'm running
Yeah.
fast trying to watch things. But I feel like I couldn't bear to not have anything in front of me because I hate watching. I always hide all the
Yeah.
stuff about how long I've been going for, but
Just
yeah.
give the music a go. But the good thing about the threshold sessions is they're not overly difficult. So you always feel like you're in control. So it's not like, oh man, I'm hanging on. How long until this ends?
Yeah, I feel like I have to concentrate a lot though. Like I know what you mean. You're not sprinting, but yeah, I don't know.
You still have to
I still
concentrate.
feel like I'm running a lot faster than my heart rate. or the pace
Yeah,
indicates.
Yeah.
I think
we've
I'm a
had
bit
this chat
We
a few
always have
uncoordinated.
this.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
Every
the same.
time.
Yeah, sorry.
No. We're just agreeing with you. We don't know how to fix it either. I think the whole like watching, like you're a professional athlete, and it's like what other professionals do their job while they're watching like Netflix. Like, do you think there's like a
Yeah.
level of like you got to concentrate and like maybe for the easy jogs, but like for the workouts, that's like the most important part of your job for the week.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
That's what I always think. I'm like, if I'm watching stuff, I'm not taking the workout serious enough.
Yeah. I've
Anyway,
never thought that before.
that's just my mentality. I'm like, I'm slacking off if I'm watching like, yeah.
But you're still doing the same thing. Do you like when you're doing workouts, do you only listen to music when you're doing workouts outside, or do you not listen to anything?
I don't listen to anything when I'm outside for a session. It's just on the treadmill.
I've just started listening to music like since Archie moved away and I'm by myself more. But it's like the shocks ones where you can still hear like the road traffic and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I do
And
that as
now
well.
there's
I just have
yeah,
one headphone in and listen to
yeah.
music.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about what Brady's saying. Just ask him how many Olympics he's been to, Ellie.
Zero.
Constant.
No, that's my own mentality. I feel like I'd be like getting distracted when I should be focusing. But I watch heaps of stupid shit when I'm jogging on the treadmill. So it's like, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Like that's when I'm watching that sports documentary stuff or the YouTube channels. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try it. I just feel like
Do
time
the
goes
like
too
other pros
slowly.
like you see those guys doing workouts on treadmills? Do they ever watching stuff?
I'm not sure when they're
Mm,
running.
yeah.
Jakob does on the elliptical. I know that.
Does he? Okay.
The
Did you watch
elliptical's a
his
bit
latest
easier.
video? It
No, I
Yeah,
haven't watched
it was
that yet.
odd, wasn't it?
was very, very
It's
odd.
very,
Yeah.
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 What was it about?
It was just very like they were just kind of like taking the piss, weren't they?
Yeah,
You know,
trying to come up with like motivational sayings and like what was it? Running is like sailing. When you have wind in your sails, you go faster.
and then they just kept coming up with that. Running is like climbing a mountain. It is hard, but when you get to the top, it is good, or something like that. Like just yeah, and they're just talking like that. The whole video was based around them just pretty much talking shit the whole time. Didn't show much running at all.
Yeah, it was like a life in the day, and it was the day where he does 2 10K runs.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
at 3:58 pace. He nearly got a daily double too, Croaks. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, that was your workout from Tuesday, Ali.
Yeah. And then Friday I did another workout. So just a fartlek. Again, we've just had absolute garbage weather here this week, but fartlek's good because it doesn't really matter. So I just ran from home out and back over some hills. That was 2 by 3 minutes, 4 by 2 minutes, 6 by 1 minute. And I thought, oh, this won't be too hard, this one. But I actually was cooked by the end. And I also was sort of doing net uphill on the way out, net downhill on the way back. But my legs got to the minute reps at the end and they felt pretty trashed. And my heart rate was only coming down to like threshold on the jog recoveries. So the recoveries were getting shorter too, though. I think they were only 30 seconds between the 1 minute reps.
That hill, Ellie, just before you turn around, looks fairly steep.
Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah. So that's if I run out from my house to get to 8Ks, I have to go up that hill if I'm doing a 16K run. So yeah,
It's got like
that's
a
actually
section.
up near lap towards Julian's
Oh,
house.
okay. Yeah, it says like 15%, 8%, 11%, 10%. Like it's
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And then you kind of coming back down, it's almost how gradual downhills are really nice, but it's almost a bit too steep on the way down as well to really feel good running down it.
Do you like these sessions though, where you can't really read into your fitness too much because it is undulating?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah. Especially at the moment because I don't it's kind of good if I don't really know where I'm at. I'm not looking at pace at all while I'm running. I just had I have like lap time and heart rate showing on my watch for all my workouts. So I've got no idea how fast I'm running until the end. And it doesn't, even when I look at it at the end, it means nothing because it's, half the reps are uphill, half are down. So, but yeah, you work hard. So it's good. And then on Sunday, I just did a long run, 26K around Anglesey with a few of the boys. There were quite a few away in Sydney, but I think we still had 4 or 5 of us. So yeah, 100 and Oh no, it was only 95k.
So did you
So
guys
yeah,
not watch the race?
Yeah, 7:35 start.
yeah. So I watched the first hour,
Oh yeah.
um, and then I actually had my phone with me on the run because I had the tracker. The tracker kept crashing in the morning, but I had that with me, and we had the stream going, and we were listening to it, sort of. Um, which it wasn't like, yeah, we couldn't really see that much of what we wanted to
Yeah, we'll
watch
get to that.
anyway.
I want to ask you
Yeah.
heaps of questions about that when we get to recapping it.
Yeah, so we stopped, we were doing a couple of loops and dropping people off, so we kept checking the tracker when we stopped back at the cars, and yeah, checked a few times, and we actually got to see or we were watching on the tracker the last bit of like Leanne and Jess coming in, but yeah, they obviously weren't showing it on the stream, so yeah, but it's a tricky one because I wanted to watch the race, but I didn't want to wait until like 9:30 to do my long run. And I didn't really want to go at like 4 a.m. Well, I definitely didn't want to do
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I figured I'd just watch the start and then we could have it with us on the run.
Yeah.
Watch the
Good
replay
week.
after.
Some good sessions in there.
Yeah, it was an okay week. I said to Jules after last Sunday, I was really cooked at the end of the long run then. And I said, I need a down week and a rest day tomorrow. I feel like my body's really, really tired. So that was nice. And I feel good again now at the end of that.
Listening to the body. How good's that?
Yep.
That's what you want to be doing. I'll just, same thing. I'll whip through this. I just did a workout on the Wednesday on the treadmill as well. It wasn't like, it was pretty soft. Like it wasn't horrendous wind here, probably like 20, 25k an hour. But I was like, yeah, I want to take the easier option and do it on the treadmill. It was a big one too. It was 3 by 10 minutes and then 6 by 5 minutes. And I had 90 seconds off between or after the 10 minutes and 60 seconds off after the 5 minutes. Worked out a bit of a trick to get that heart rate up, Croaks. You know how like the heart rate always is like too low for the pace it feels like you're running? So with my 5 minute reps, I would put the incline up like for the first 2 or 3 minutes to get the heart rate up. Because what I'd notice, like I do my 5 minute reps and it'd take me like 2 minutes to get it back up to like say 160, 165. But then the average for the 5 minutes is quite low because it takes so long to kind of climb up. So I'd kind of hammer the first 2 or 3 minutes with a hill, get the heart rate up to 165 and then drop the hill back up and then the heart rate would stay at like 165. Nice.
Is that what you're meant to do?
Don't know.
I don't know about that.
I think Brady likes having, so he's got like a limit to max heart rate, but he wants to try and have his average as close to the max as possible.
No. So my max is 170 and I went like 154, 159, 162, 162, 162, 164, 164, 165, 165. Like I struggle to get it up, but I can't increase the pace on the treadmill because I feel like I'm nearly falling off it. So like I'll be like Dan's like, no, you gotta like go harder in these treadmill workouts because your heart rate's not getting high enough. But this is the treadmill at 19k an hour.
What incline do you normally run on?
0.5, but I was putting it up to like 2.5 for the first couple of minutes.
Oh yeah. Why don't you just run on 1 the whole time?
Good. I don't know if it would get it up though. Maybe I'll try that next. I'm still experimenting with these treadmill workouts.
Yeah. I know what you mean. You feel like you got to run hard to get it up, but I think if you're going really hard at the start to spike it, then you're probably not.
It's not
defeating the purpose.
It's not spiking. Like he's like stay under 170, and I'm getting it to like when I say spike it, I'm getting it up to like 162, 165. I'm just trying to get it in the 160s more than anything, kind of thing. So, but that was a big one. Felt like I nearly broke the treadmill in there too, and the boss was there. It was making some weird sounds by the end of this because it was like an hour and 10 minutes total. Making some sounds. Did a shakeout with you Thursday night, Croaks. Bit of a running Bendigo Thursday morning. Then we, what did we do? Friday, had a bit of a jog as well up there in Sydney. Saturday, we did that on panel. What night was that? Friday night. That was good fun. And then went to the expo. The expo was really good, really efficient. Like, I think I lined up for like 45 seconds to get my bib. Straight in, straight out. Then it was a shit show though in the like where all the like stuff people selling stuff was. That was slow trying to get through there and very busy. So caught up with Chris from Features who was hooking me up with a bib. I was very grateful for him to get me a beer at late notice. And then, Sunday morning, public transport, alarm went off at 4. Efficient. Like it was all like as a participant, easy. Trains weren't packed. Got there plenty of time. Probably, I think I got there just after like 6-ish. 6 o'clock. Oh, I thought that you were crying then, Ellie, but it's one of your babies.
Sorry, it's my yeah.
That's all right. I'm like, this isn't that sad of a story. I'm just catching up. As long as you're okay.
I could hear some extreme action happening outside the room, and so that's why my video's off. I just
No, that's all. I'll hit mute while Croaks and I talk a bit here. But yeah, super efficient, Croaks. It was like, for a major, and this was one of my big concerns, like how did they go from having like 15,000 people to like 35,000 people? Like, are there going to be points where they just get overwhelmed? But getting to the start line was super easy. Bumped into a few listeners, a couple of Run to PB people, walked in with them, which was really good. Got there. No, I got there at 5. 5? Yeah, about just after 5 for a 6:30 start. Met me mate Crammers, and then at 5:45, so we were in like the start zone 1 area, but then they opened another area at 5:45 to get ready for like your pen. So then they were saying like, if you think you're going to be at the front of this start zone 1, then we're going to open the doors at 5:45 and you should line up and be ready to go. And then we moved from that start zone, or that pen, to another pen. And then we were pretty much on the start line for 45 minutes.
Ooh, that's a long time.
Yeah,
and it's okay when you're doing it as a workout where it's like to start really slow. But like if you were wanting, I suppose the downhill first K probably helps a little bit. I was a bit
concerned about that though. I'm like, I'm not warmed up at all, and we're hammering down a hill. Like, so but we, had the clothes on, the layers, and then you're piffing them with 2 or 3 minutes to start. So there was like the elites where Moose was and all the big dogs, and then there was the high performance program, and then there was like zone A or whatever that I was in, and I was probably, I don't know, 8-10 people deep in that zone. People, dickheads, people that push in, like in those zones. You just like, I was getting really annoyed. Like you just be standing there, everyone's pushed sardines, and then someone's just trying to make their way to the front of that zone. Yeah. And I'd say to them, I'm like, you're going to be running quicker than 2:35? Because me and these blokes here are running 2:35. And then they'd, get a bit pissed off at me. But anyway.
Speaking of that, did you see Jules and Nickel right on the start line?
Yes. So I didn't see. So Moose and I had a plan. So his mate Brad was starting with me, and then Moose was kind of hinting that we'll all run together. So like, and we were meant to start at 6:31, and I was worried that they'd like close the start line, hold us, and then we'd be on a separate start, but we didn't. We just rolled straight in behind those guys.
Just before you go on, Brady, Moose was actually more of the, you'll be going too quick for me.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm between 2:30 and 2:35, and he's like, nah, that's not what I'm going to do. But then he had a mate, Brad, who was, I think he owns a running company in the Sunshine Coast. And he's like, Brad's going to be with you. You two guys will catch me. And then we'll all run together around that, 2:35 kind of pace. And then, I bloody just didn't see him. I was like, maybe take us like 5 or 6K to catch you. And then gets to 5K, can't see him. Gets to 10K, can't see him. Gets to 15K, and we maybe even 17K. There's like that out and back. And he's still like 2.5 minutes in front of me on this out and back. And I just literally said to him, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're running at 2:35 pace. And then he looked amazing as well. But it's so technical, that first 10, 15K. Like it's up, down. It feels like you're doing like a cross-country road course out there. Crowds like amazing. Yeah, so Moose looked beautiful, like on this out and back. And I'm thinking like, I'm having a bad day. But at the same time, I also didn't know what kind of like pace I was running, because I'm like clicking off 3:35s, and I've kind of like memorized what breaking 2:20 pace is. I kind of don't really know what a 3:35 pace kind of gets you. Had some great chats with some listeners along the way, people running near. And they're like, the camaraderie is probably a bit different at that pace as well. Like everyone's kind of a bit of a team atmosphere. I felt like you don't really get that when you run a bit towards the pointier end. Not that I'd ever be near the pointy end of this race, but yeah, got on Anzac Parade, saw you, Croaks, which was good. And I got passed by Leo, the guy we had on the boat for that Brooks thing. He was in a full suit, running really well. So he dropped me. Saw Moose again at the out and back at that. Is that still Anzac Parade, Croaks?
Yeah,
The very top of it.
Yeah.
And he still would have been like 2.5, 3 minutes in front of me. I saw you again, Croaks, and you had like a pre-planned like gag. So I get to Croaks, Alan, he goes, "Yeah, you'll be the one carrying Moose across the line today, Brady." And then I was a bit concerned. So I looked at Croaks and was like, "Oh, is he in like trouble?" And he goes, No, he's all right." And I'm like, "Well, we can't go using lines like that if he was actually fine."
Well, my gag to Moose when he went past was like, "Mate, you need to slow down today if you want to carry people across the line because there's not that many people in front of you."
He just used the same joke but adjusted it slightly.
Yeah. And it kind of, didn't feel that great. I also had to like pee, and I'm like, I've never stopped in a race to pee before. And I'm starting to look at back streets, like trying to keep an eye out for portaloos, all those kind of things. But then I was like, nah, you'll be right. Just hold it on. And then when we turned to go into Moore Park and then Centennial Park, it just went a tiny bit downhill. And then I just started getting rolling. Like I just started, it's something maybe about the rhythm. Like I'm not so used to running at 3:35, 3:40 pace. It's a weird kind of pace for me. I usually go slower or faster. And then when I started clicking into like 3:25 to 3:30s and started like Sondre mowing people down in the last like 10K, I had the funnest experience ever over the last 10K. Centennial Park felt like it was all downhill. I was just flying past people. It was great. Finally caught Moose at 35K and just peeled up next to him and just checked in on him, just said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "Yep." No, I asked him if he was all right, as if like, "Are you injured?" Because he didn't look great. Like I probably pulled back 2 minutes into him in, I don't know, 3 or 4K when he got close. And my eyes were starting to really light up when I could see him down the road.
Did you see him at 37? Because you went from running 3:30s to 3:20, 3:15 then.
Yeah, literally at the 35K timing, Matt, I went past him. So then,
35K, yeah.
So that's why. Then I put the foot down.
Even when he went past me at 26K, you could tell it was going to be a long way home for him because when I used that gag, he was like, "No, it'll be me like getting picked up and carried across the line today."
Yeah. So, and then I went past Jeremy Roth and like Max Stevens. Like it was a bit of a graveyard out there. There was some absolute carnage, and I don't think I've ever met Jeremy Roth ever. Maybe at Falls Creek, like when I was a kid, kind of thing. And I was shocked it was him actually, because I used to really love watching him race. Like he was a real gutsy kind of racer, and I just pulled up next to him and I'm like, "Oh, Jeremy Roth." I'm like, "I didn't know you were doing marathons." And he's just like, "Fuck, I wish I was feeling as good as you are at the moment." And then so have a chat to him and then put in a bit of a surge to get past him. And maybe we take it a bit for granted, Croaks, but we kind of see the download numbers of the show, but you don't get very many like human interactions back. Like 3 people will comment on our Instagram page, or we'll hear a couple of Patreon supporters or things like that. But when you're actually on the streets of Sydney and you could hear the feedback, like I had goosebumps at stages with like people yelling my name and stuff. Like I'm so grateful for the people who cheered me, even though I was just doing a workout on Sunday.
Well, what about this photo that Tarby took, like finger up in the air, like you're coming in to win the thing?
I know that photo sends to me. It looks like I'm doing the number 1 sign, but I was acknowledging. Like if someone yelled out my name, I would make eye contact and give them a thumbs up or give them a wave, or like it was great to be able to be in a race and still have that, like, we're usually cooked at 35K in a marathon. Like this was fun being still aware of your surroundings and could wave to people and give people a smile. Like the people.
What were your actual instructions from your coach?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to what I did. The instructions were to run I'm just going to open this up because I never like misquoting Dan Nash when you're on a podcast talking about someone's coaching. But yeah, it was never to like have any pressure on it. So it was like you've got a license to pick it up, but you don't have to if you're not feeling amazing, kind of thing. So it was like hard long run. Where's the notes here? Start at 3:40 to 3:45. Permission to move down to a maximum of 3:30 pace from halfway if feeling in control. Fuel well throughout, at least 60 grams of carbs per hour. So we went a bit quicker than 3:30s at some stages there. But yeah, he was like laying somewhere between 2:30 and 2:35. And I think I was 2:31, something, 20, something like that.
There were quite a few 3:15s and 3:20s in the last bit, but
yeah. But what was the gap though? Yeah, actually, yeah, the gap was still, there was a 39th K was 3:14. And then, yeah, that was some nice.
Pretty hard when you're mowing people down to not get excited.
And like I was watching like the women's race was coming like in and out of Mrs. Macquarie's chair when I was going in. So like I saw Leanne just off the back of like Nick Earl and his pack, and I'm like, she looked strong, tired, if that makes sense. Like she's at 41K. But then there was no like motorbike with the video camera with her. And I'm like, oh, she mustn't be winning because obviously the camera is with the person who's winning. And then 300 meters later, I kind of saw Jess on the other side of the road, and Jess was really struggling there. And she also didn't have the motorbike with her. So I'm like, shit, Lisa's like picked them both up and in front here. And then I get another couple 100 meters over and look across the road and Lisa's there. And I'm like, we'll get to the coverage in a second, but it turns out you didn't see them for the whole 2.5 hours because there was no coverage of them. But yeah, I was trying to actually and I would ask people, I know Zoe Delaney from Axel Coffee, like she was on the side of the road at 34K or something. I'll be like, who's winning the women's race? What did Kipchoge win? Like just trying to get as much kind of feedback of the race as possible. And then a very unique experience. The last K, there was no one in front of me, no one behind me. And there was just these epic crowds, and there was no one on the road to cheer for other than me. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, this is a weird experience. I actually felt like I was winning the race. I was running like 11 minutes off my best, and it was one of the coolest moments ever in running because there was just people who have lined the streets and calling people, just yelling out support. And I'm like, well done to Sydney for turning that on. And then, took the turn into the Opera House. And then I had my media accreditation in my pocket. So they were trying to like usher me to go away, like get into the finishing like area. But I put my media accreditation on, saw Zaka. He gave me some clothes, and then we just started doing interviews, which was really fun. So, yeah, amazing race, amazing experience. I come away from that being like, yeah, it wasn't at Berlin or Chicago level, and I don't think it had the expectation to be in year one, but it was definitely at like Osaka, Valencia level, which is pretty amazing because I've been there the last 2 years and it was nowhere near like major material, but it was like an 8.5 out of 10, which was
cool.
Pretty cool.
It's cool that we have that caliber of event and we don't have to jump on a plane and travel a long way to experience that.
Yeah. And hats off to the people on who got out there to support, because that's what they needed and that's what happened. So,
and that's what we just haven't had in Australia, is it? Like our race atmospheres in general are pretty dull, and it doesn't seem like people get around it and embrace it. But I think with this running boom, it seems like finally people are actually starting to do that, like get out on the streets and watch, and it's really cool.
So Brady, of the 42 kilometres, how many kilometres would you say were like dead space, really no crowds at all?
Oh, no, not. But you get dead, like at the back of Chicago, you get dead crowds and stuff as well. Like what was on Anzac Parade was probably the further out. But then at the turn at the top of Anzac Parade, when you started to come back, like you could tell the locals really got around there. But that's similar to at the back of like Chicago Marathon as well. But that was the lightest. Centennial Park was amazing. And then like Oxford Street was amazing. Going in and out of Mrs. Macquarie's chair, like I had goosebumps, like because the atmosphere was so good. That big sweeping bend when you come like back into the finish line, like just music, crowds, like.
And that's where you want it as well. Like as like, you get into Centennial Park and you've got people there, Oxford Street, Mrs. Macquarie's chair, like you're pretty much covered for the last 10 to 12 kilometres of the race, which is when you want people to sort of get behind you. Yeah.
It's such a technical course though. Like I think that's why we saw so much carnage when we'll get to the results. But what was disappointing, like I just called it like an 8 out of 10 or 8.5 out of 10 kind of day. And then you watch the stream and you go, oh, that looks like a 3 out of 10. And like, you should see the amount of DMs we had from like people who weren't there, just so disappointed in the quality of the coverage. Like I think they really let themselves down with how it was presented. visually and for the overseas market with what they presented on Sunday, because it was such an amazing event, and the coverage, the commentary, nothing of the Australians. Like, it was just so disappointing that they let themselves down like that.
Well, especially when they had the talent. Like, you had Bruce
Yeah.
commentating.
Yeah.
And obviously he can only work with what pictures he's seeing in front of him. But I agree. I suppose because I was actually on the ground, like I did have my phone down on the road watching some stuff, but you're too busy sort of looking at people that are going past. So you're probably not as focused on the live stream as you are on people going past. But there's some odd things. Like, they had a Q&A, a pre-recorded Q&A with Kipchoge and Hassan after you guys had gone past. So, so the lead men would have been into Centennial Park. So, like, when all the moves are happening, they've got like a pre-recorded interview for like a few minutes. It's like, if you're going to put that on, you put
that
it
at
on.
the start.
You put it on at 6 before the race even starts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or when it's boring in the middle, when you know there's not going to be any moves. But
they seem to have a lot of cameras out there. Like I remember at one point they had a camera on Brett. Like, and Brett was isolated, so they obviously had the footage, but they just never
used it.
And like, there was a lot of wheelchair stuff early on because they started earlier.
I feel like all the majors have a lot of wheelchair coverage.
Oh, so much wheelchair coverage, wasn't there?
Yeah, it just like, I get that because it's going out to the whole world, they can't just focus on the Australian race, but any other marathon, like Berlin, you see them on the lead German runners constantly. America, like Chicago, they're on the American athletes. London, exactly, they always have cameras on the British lead packs, and it's like, I mean, I know not everybody was as into the Australian race as we were, but there was a lot of interest around that. So it was a real shame. And also, like, it sounds like it was a really good, interesting race too in the women's and even in the men's as well, with like Tommy picking people off in that last 10K. But it was a shame.
Finish, I heard like the MC at the finish line wasn't even like, here's the first Australian Haftu Strintzos. Like, it was just, he just come across the line in whatever position he was overall. No big fuss made about him. Like, But maybe we're in our little niche kind of bubble, but
even the women's race, though, like the women's elite race, you
Sifan.
didn't see a lot of that until the men had finished, and then they kind of got the camera on Sifan. But there wasn't much coverage of that either earlier. And I mean, obviously the lead male pack is the easiest to get footage of because you've got a clear road ahead of you. It is more difficult logistically getting to the other groups, but it's surely on a motorbike in a major that can be done.
I reckon the producers just need to look at the end of the day, what people want is at the end of the race, they've been able to see how the race has played out, which means that, okay, for the first hour, it's generally pretty boring. Like, that's when you can have like the pre-recorded stuff because the packs are going to be there. But from 30K onwards, you need to have almost split screen where you can see what's happening with the lead women and the lead men, and then occasionally going back to what's happening with like the Aussie race. So that, like, because even if it's just a couple of minutes of each and rotating through them, you're going to get to the end of the race and you're going to have a fair idea of how it played out.
Yeah. Or if a move happens back, like when Leanne dropped Jess, like if they've got that on camera, it's a shame they can't cut back to that and say, oh, this is what's just happened a couple of moments ago. I mean, I know there's a lot that they've got to think about, but
remember when they did the Olympic marathon? Like, they'd have cameras on when Kipchoge dropped and like move, and then they'd show you like the slow-mo replay and stuff of like stuff that was happened further back. And I know when it's like, oh, you can't compare it to the Olympics. I'm like, no, it's the 7th world major. You can. This should be as high quality of production as that. I don't know what Mona's done to not get the commentary gig anymore too. You're like,
would have been nice to have a marathoner in there, wouldn't it?
Oh,
like just a little bit more of that specific.
And that was
knowledge.
What overseas mates were kind of saying. And I reckon that kind of that Dave Colbert Tamsin combo probably works for an Australian crowd and like our track and field stuff, but not to the overseas audience. Like,
yeah. And they had Eloise on the vehicle, but like, why not get her in the commentary box and because you need somebody that knows a lot about the marathon itself, I think, as well, to be talking while the race is happening. And then the person on the vehicle can talk about the moves that are happening in the pack, or, like Bruce
crowds,
on
the
the
weather.
vehicle, and he can say what he's seeing as it happens, like he's calling a footy match or something, but then have someone in the box, like for the rest of it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And
just quick,
the whole wheelchair thing too, it's just like percentage wise. So I respect it. I understand it. Like it's great, like phenomenal athletes, but I actually don't know anything. I don't have any knowledge about who those people are. And I'm in the running bubble, not the wheelchair bubble. But then so how many people are like me who are turning it on to watch running, and then 50% of the footage is of another sport that we're not interested in?
Do you know Kurt Fearnley was actually good though? Did you?
He had a lot of
listen to
charisma
the
in the
replay?
commentary and stuff. And he was teaching me stuff about the silver bullet and all that kind of stuff. And I'm learning, there's this 400-meter section where they, get extra points for the world marathon. And I'm learning all this as it's going, but I haven't turned it on to watch that.
Yeah.
And when I turn on other sports, and like if I turn on my AFL footy stuff, I'm not then going, oh, by the way, here's some stuff about badminton. It's like, well, I haven't signed up for this.
But he, to me, was like what would have been great for the elite able-bodied race as well. Like, that insight into what it's like in those competitions, and even explaining what it's like on the different road surfaces on the chairs, and what there's happening to their bodies. Whereas,
I think that should be in addition to, but not to the expense of. So, like, if you want to, there should be like 2 or 3 streams. Push this button if you want Kurt Fearnley and more wheelchair focus. Put this one if you want to watch the run and stuff.
Well, more split screen stuff. I reckon I saw more wheelchair racing yesterday than I did of the lead women's race.
Yeah, there was definitely. Yeah.
And then, people cross the line. So like the wheelchair races, they obviously finish really early, and it's like they interview them, but you don't see any running. Like shouldn't be that hard to have like split screen.
Yeah. Anyway, phenomenal event. It was amazing to be there on the ground. And let's talk about the winners now. So are we saying an upset in the men's race, Croaks? Kiros got the win?
Look, I don't think so. I personally think Kipchoge's done in terms of winning major marathons now. Like, he's been very inconsistent for a couple of years. And remember we were talking about after he DNF'd at the Olympics and Sydney had like signed him. He had, which race did he do before this one? Was it Tokyo? And he actually ran.
No, it was London.
Yeah, so whichever one, he actually ran okay.
He ran at 2:05, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, well, maybe he's not done yet. But if he didn't run well at London, then you're probably going to have really low expectations for him in Sydney. But really, he's here to put the event on the map. But I don't think we'll see him win another marathon major.
Yeah, he did his job though, didn't he?
Like, he did. Yep, and he was competitive. He was competitive. Yep.
They made that back easy. Brilliant move bringing him and Sifan for the first one. Did you see the bit about like when the press conference, they asked him what he thought of the course? He was like, the course is the course. And you're like, well, you've had trouble on hills before. The person's asked you about the course, which is obviously hilly, and now you've just been like, I thought that was a bit rough for that journo.
I don't know if the press conferences are really his forte.
No.
But getting him out amongst the people, that's what everybody loves. Like
his Instagram, the way that he writes on Instagram is so much better than his in-person interviews. Have you noticed?
That, Croaks. Fancy that. How good is his stylist as well? His stylist is worth every cent.
His stylist is good. Yeah.
You see his shoes today? He had like the TNs on, didn't he?
Sifan's got a good stylist too. She was looking pretty cool today.
I reckon she'd have a bit more input into her stylist though than Kipchoge. Someone just walking in with a couple of coat hangers and telling him to put his kit on. Anyway, he didn't win. Kiros won. He was from Ethiopia. He ran 2:06.06, fastest time ever on a course on Australian soil, which he beat the time of the athlete last year, who then ended up testing positive.
That's good to wipe that one, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also like, you've just broken a time of someone who was doing illegal stuff. But we're going to believe Kiros. Gobena was second. He ran 2:06.16. And Ramakamona was third. Kenyan Croaks for third?
No, he's not. He's from
2:06.47.
I'll let you know. Like
Sifan Hassan won the women's. This is a great, like she kicked down here, 2:18.22, 70 through halfway, and then 68.21 for the second half. Fastest time on Australian soil by far. I think it was 2:21 before that. Brigid Kosgei is back also. She wasn't too far behind, 30 seconds, 2:18.56. And last year's winner, Worknesh Edessa, she was third in 2:22.15.
Lesotho. Is that how you say it?
If you say so, it's
Yeah.
from Lesotho. Where's that?
That's in Africa
Africa?
as well. It's only a
Okay.
tiny little country, I think.
Okay, still well. The Australians, so in front of Tommy, we had Haftu Strintzos, 2:11.27. Aggressive early, 64.08 through halfway. He would have been with Isaac Hayne, I reckon. He was pacing that pack. Tommy second, 2:13.25. Going to hear from him shortly, hopefully. And Brett Robertson in third, 2:15 flat. Correct? No seconds there, Croaks. 2:15 flat. That's what the time says in front of me here. What do we make of Brett's run? We'll go have to first.
Let's go Haftu first.
Yeah,
That's
not-
bloody good run.
On that course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
like
with the demons of his
record
debut
is
as well.
2:11 flat, isn't it?
No. This wasn't his debut.
Oh, yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, So,
Yeah.
pulled out halfway through at Hamburg. I thought he would have maybe had some demons from that. And he's just like, you know what, I'm going through in 64, which is bloody gutsy, and he's held it together pretty well. His $30,000 plus whatever bonuses and extras and all those kind of things he would have got. Which
He was the only Aussie we really saw because he was in the pack just behind the lead pack.
Yeah. The future's bright. Like, he's going to be a star of marathoning for a lot of years to come. He's not that old yet.
I think the impressive thing was how he was able to run that time. Like, yes, it's a significant positive split, but given he hasn't finished a marathon before, still went out at 64. Like, it could have got really ugly, but he held it together quite well. I haven't heard what went wrong with Brett, but like I thought Brett was back. Like I thought he was going to be first Aussie comfortably, just based on stuff that I've seen on Strava. Given the caliber of athlete he is, so I don't know whether he had the stitches again or what.
Supposedly struggled. This is just what someone said at the pub, but supposedly struggled to get the nutrition down.
Yeah,
Which
I think he's had a bit of trouble with that before, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just misses so many more times than he hits in the marathon due to nutritional and stomach issues. Like, must do his head in. Like, being that good of a runner and seeing like a 2:15 next to his name.
but I guess we've seen, obviously 2:15's like nowhere near you'd expect from him, but maybe he's just, although he was the Australian record holder, I think like the half marathon is like more of his wheelhouse than the marathon. Like, I don't think he has as many poor half marathons as he does marathons, and obviously the nutrition is not as much of a factor.
Is Brett doing Valencia? Does anyone know?
Not sure. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he could run on a fast, flat course like that.
Yeah, I wonder if the
Yeah.
hills like make it harder for his nutrition as well. Because New York, remember he had New York back in the day?
Yeah, I reckon he ran like 2:17 or 2:18 or something at New York.
Yeah, early.
And hills, like, because I guess it depends on what the cause of, your stomach issues or stitches are. But sometimes with stitches, I think hills can be a little worse for it just because of that, what it does to your trunk when you're going up and down. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear what happened exactly.
I reckon we've got our second place getter on the line now, legends. Let's I think Tommy Do Canto. Let's see if we can throw to him.
Hello.
Hello, Tom. What's happening?
Not much. Just heading home after a day at work.
How's that? Come second yesterday in the Australian Champs. He's got out for a 14 or 15K run too, haven't you, today? 12K, did I see on your Strava?
I got 12K done, yeah.
12K.
I copped a message from Julian as well for that.
I tell you what though,
He
Tommy.
wasn't too happy.
Julian goes on about being like real hard and blue collar. You are way more blue collar than him. Like, I see your Strava and like you're running to and from work and working big hours. Like, you've got him covered in that department.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope everyone knows that, especially him.
Working the day after you just won tens of thousands of dollars too. That's keen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't know I was going to win the money, did I? Got to keep working.
Well, on that, Tommy, like you looked when I saw you the two times you went past, like you looked amazing, like so strong, covering the ground really well. What was your goal going in? Like, because obviously Sydney's not a dead flat course, so a pacing strategy is really difficult. But did you have a rough time goal through halfway or first 5K?
I actually had no real time goals at all, which was a nice, probably nice in the sense that I was happy just to go purely off effort. And again, like as Julian says, like that term, like sitting on the couch, that's kind of what I wanted to feel like. Just like I'm not working too hard. Slow down on the hills and pick up on the flats or downs. Yeah, so no time goal, but yeah, obviously I wanted to get as high as I could in the Aussie field, so that was the main focus for me.
Which you did, Tom, and finishing time 2:13:25. So what are we talking, like just under a minute and a half off your best in Valencia? Like Sydney, not a quick course at all. You must be stoked with the finishing time and to take down, like Brett Robinson, Sam Clifford. Haftu was the only one in front of you in that pretty deep Australian men's field.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I would have thought a place in that field, like even just getting top three, would have been like an exceptional day for me. And I was, I had to rely on others not having a great day and me having a really good day. And that's kind of what panned out, I guess.
When did it pan out like that? Like I saw you first on the Anzac Parade, like the big straight. I was probably at like 21K, you were probably at 25. And the first thing I noticed was like Haftu went past. He was kind of in no man's land. Didn't look great. Brett was behind him, also no man's land, looked even worse. I thought Liam Adams actually looked pretty good. He did end up DNFing. But then I noticed you. I'm like, oh, you look the best out of all of them because we're all so strung out, like no support around you at all with any pacing.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a tough way to run. It was like last year. I pretty much ran a solo marathon. I had a Danish guy that I ran with for like the first 12K, which was good. He was fun. He was putting his arms up in front of the crowd and like getting the crowd fired up. So that was fun. But then yeah, from then it was just a matter of because the pace when the 208. So there was a pacer for 208, right? And all those boys went with the 208 pacer, and I thought there's no way that I didn't think any of them would run 208, even Brett. Like I don't know, like yeah, I'd be surprised if he did. So I was just hoping that they would drop off, and I was not that motivated running by myself until I first saw Sam, and he was probably the first one to drop off. And yeah, I passed Sam maybe 20K, something like that. I think Liam DNF'd at about 30K, so I passed 30K, saw Liam there on the side of the road, and then didn't get Brett till 40K. So yeah, I guess it was like 20, 30, then 40.
And was he coming back to you quick? Like, did you, on any of the out and backs, did you see what the gap was? It would have been pretty big, wouldn't it?
I didn't know. Yeah, so I really had no idea. Brett was. I didn't really know how close he was, but got some feedback. Like people kept telling me, "Oh, he's actually not that far. He's not that far." Gary was telling me I made up, 30 seconds in the last couple of K. So that feedback gave me the motivation to keep chasing. And then when I could see him, so I could actually see him on not till going back down.
Oxford Street.
Exactly. So going down the hill at Oxford Street, I caught sight of him, and then once I saw him, I was like, "Oh shit, I can get him." So I just started going for it.
And you felt strong
Did
the
he
whole
try
way?
and go with you?
No, so what I did was I thought, okay, I'm going to judge my effort here. I'm not going to try and catch him too soon. I'm just going to ease up, slowly catch him. Maybe wait till Mrs. Macquarie. So I sort of waited it out, and so basically when I caught him, I wanted to be able to go again, go a bit harder. So I caught him going down just before the turnaround at Mrs. Macquarie's, and I put a bit of a surge on as I passed him. But yeah, he
And
didn't.
pretended you
He
weren't
wasn't.
tired at all.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm. Yeah.
Did you point behind you to like sit in? Sometimes I do that when I pass people, and I'm like, you're not sitting in, but I'm just gonna be like, sit in if you want, sit in.
No, Brady,
Oh.
your signature move is go to the other side of the road.
Yeah, ask Dave Ridley about that.
But Tommy, all of the footage I saw of you, even stuff towards the back end of the race, you still looked like so strong. Is that how it felt, or you did have patches where you thought you were struggling?
Hang on, you
I
put a
was
minute
actually
and a half into him in 2K.
Yeah,
Did you
like
say you went past him at 40K?
Yeah, the hardest part was just going along Anzac Parade. I there was bits on there where I was like, I'm not feeling great. Not a great day.
that's where I was, Tommy. Saying seeing me didn't brighten your day.
I'm with you, Tommy. I felt shit along there as well. I got dropped by a bloke in a suit along there.
But yeah, yeah, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Uh,
Yeah, but anyway, it's about you, not me.
no, no. No, it was honestly like people talk about going to a major and they say like the crowd gave them energy. Well, I didn't really feel that until we hit Centennial Park, and like compared to last year, it was crazy. Like there was just so many more people out, and I felt like probably I felt the best was the last 12K. Honestly, I just felt
Yeah.
Yeah,
felt
you would have
better.
had a lot of support out there.
If
It's
you
in,
time it right on that course, you can come home super strong, can't you? Like it felt like once you come out of even going into Centennial, is it Moore Park before you go Centennial Park? Kind
yeah.
of leans downhill a bit, and then yeah, you can really make up some time and pull people in down Oxford Street and then Mrs. Macquarie's chair.
Yeah, no,
Tommy,
there's some downs.
looking at your training over the last couple of months, it doesn't look like you've sort of thrown the kitchen sink at it compared to maybe some of your other marathons. So that must give you some confidence that it almost looked like you're sort of training a bit within yourself for this one.
Yeah. I just haven't been able to. I've been a bit sick here and there, and yeah, just only so much I can do. Like, yeah, I've in the past I have maybe done too much, and maybe have gone to the point of trying to do too much and just burning myself out a bit. So I was trying to just do what I could think I could absorb, and I think it worked by not overdoing it. I think if I did more, I don't necessarily think I would have run any better doing any more training for this one.
That must be
But
good for you to
yeah,
know, though, because you have had, like, I was thinking similar to what Brad just asked, you've had a few marathon blocks in the past few years where it seems like you've had bad luck with sickness and injury. And so I was wondering that if this one went perfectly for you, but it's probably good for your confidence, is it, that you can have a block with a few of those interruptions and still, yeah, pull off what your second fastest time ever, and probably really, would you say that's your best marathon ever?
yeah, I'd say it probably has to be. I mean, in Valencia when I ran my PB, we had a pack of like 30 to 35K or something
Yeah.
like that. It was yeah. So how much FOMO did you have, Ellie? Did you
Oh,
watch what you were following it along?
so much FOMO, yeah. I was telling these guys, like, even in the days leading in, I felt like you could just feel how much hype there was around it. And I watched the first hour before I did my long run, and it looked significantly more busy along the side of the road than it did last year too. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, it looked really fun, and definitely made me want to do it. But yeah,
next
it
next
also,
year.
like, there were some massive blow ups though. So it sounds like, yeah, if you don't run smart, you can really, really pay for it, which obviously you did run smart.
Yeah, I mean, I had no choice. I couldn't. I'm not going to go out at 2:08 pace. Yeah. So.
Do you think having run before was a big advantage as well on that course?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just that, and then also because I'm a Sydney local, like I just felt like there were that many people, so that many like faces that I'm like, oh you're here, like all these people that came out to watch that I know, and they were cheering me, and yeah, it was just yeah, really good.
What's the plan between now and Valencia?
Yeah, so I guess it's probably not a bad turnaround. I'll have a couple of easy weeks, so just jogging. I'll probably just jog most days this week, just see how I feel, and then might do a session, my first session next week, and then just build into a block. I might do a couple. Like if everything goes well, it'll be a little bit more volume, and maybe I will get a couple of marathon specific sessions in. I still need to practice nutrition, which is still really struggling with. So
Just can't keep it down, Tommy.
yeah, I just can't keep anything. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Probably had about 2 gels. I had a toilet stop at like 26K.
Did you?
On
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like looking for a portaloo for like 3 or 4K along Anzac Parade. I'm like, oh god, I was about to stop at the 7-Eleven. Like I was just like, this is getting ridiculous, and I finally found one, and I veer up to the side of the road, and someone was like, "What are you doing?" And it's like yelling at me. There's a couple, so there was a few people that saw me, and they messaged me after, like saying, yeah, just laughing.
what do you think it is? Is like, do you have a sensitive gut, or do you not use gels in training, or?
I've always had a sensitive gut. Like just.
You must be so efficient though to be able to run the times that you're running off such little nutrition.
No fuel.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, when you think about it, like guys, like I haven't actually spoken to them about it, but it would be good to like chat to someone like Mona or Deke about, those guys were able to run so well, and they like Mona is well known for like his depletion and then carb loading phase. So they're sort of the guys that would really focus on the pre-race loading, and I think that's kind of what I've always focused on, because I know I've been so poor at nutrition during the event. So maybe to some extent, that's people are sort of forgetting that that's such a big component, is the way that you need to just carb load into the event, and you're going to be pretty loaded up with carbs anyway. I don't know. There must be individual variation as well with that, with the whole like how much carbs people use.
And Tommy, what was it like rubbing shoulders with Kipchoge and Sifan Hassan?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was surreal. Like that's the word for it. Like it was just, is this happening? It was very cool. I was wanting to get a photo with Kipchoge. And I was probably a little bit too a bit too embarrassed to ask him, or a bit too shy to ask him for a photo. But my daughter came into the elite room after the race. The tent had set up there, and that was a perfect segue. I was like, "Oh, can you get a photo with my daughter?" And then I snuck into it too.
Nice one.
How was Poppy? Was she absolutely loving
Oh,
the
she
marathon?
was loving life. So she got they did like this little interview at the end of the race. Like I think it was Channel 9 or someone, and they asked her something. So she got on the news, and so Lana sent this little news clip into her teacher at school. So yeah, her teacher showed it to the class today, and they all think she's famous. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
I liked your kit too, Tommy. Looked good out there.
Looked good, didn't it? A bit of
Thanks,
blue,
mate. You look
Yeah,
good. You
yellow.
feel good. I think.
yellow. Yeah, looked real good. What shoes do you wear, Tommy? You're a shoe dog, shoe geek.
I just love the Asics Metaspeed Edge, and I wore the Paris. I haven't quite gelled with the new models, but yeah, I love the Paris model.
Man of the people, isn't he?
He is.
It's a good story. Local Sydney guy beating some of the pros, getting cheered, goes to work the next day,
Commutes to work,
wears
doesn't
the
take
old
on any
version of
nutrition.
shoes.
I love this, guys. I love this.
Everyone loves it.
Carb depletion like the old timers. He's
More of
You
it.
used to love a bit of carb depletion, didn't you, Brad? I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, not so much in race week. It was more in training, just running depleted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I run every single morning commute. I run depleted. I never eat breakfast before I run. So maybe that's part of it for me. I'm somewhat used to it.
Yeah. I sort of agree with you there. Like as much as it's probably against the current trend of, science, I definitely improved my ability to run long distances at a decent pace with no fuel by practicing that. But it's just not the common way. It's not the common way to do things now.
But you
No.
got better at doing that. But is that better than if you were fueled?
Yeah, I don't know. I was running like 180k back then, and now I fuel on long runs, and I'm struggling to hit 80k a week.
You're also a bit older. They've got an extra 15 years in the body. Tommy, what are you going to spend the money on? Moose was famous about wanting to buy a sauna if he ever got in the Sydney prize money. Have you got something you'll treat yourself with?
Oh, I'll have to ask Lana. I think she's already spent it.
It's already gone.
No, I mean, yeah, no, we got lots of expenses. It'll be nothing exciting. It'll be definitely nothing too exciting. Maybe a holiday. We do love holidays. So yeah.
Do you get drug tested?
No drug. Yeah, it was great not to have to deal with they haul you up and it takes forever.
Yeah,
So no,
a
I
couple of
didn't
hours.
have to. So I was pretty happy.
Yeah. That's good. Awesome, mate. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in. I know you're walking home from the train station. People will be able to hear a bit of background noise of the streets of Sydney. This time, well, not this time, but yesterday you were dominating on the roads and now you're walking home from after a day of work. So we appreciate you giving us up some time for the show.
No, all good.
We
Did
love
I
what
hear
you
that
do here.
Croak is no longer doing Valencia?
Yeah, I'm out, Tommy. I just can't. What is it? 13 weeks, and like I'm still not even jogging, and I wouldn't be in shape
That's
to go to
upsetting.
Valencia. Yeah.
More concerned about the money too, Tommy. Maybe we've got to start him like a GoFundMe page or something.
No, I'm going to buy an exercise bike instead of going to Valencia, Tommy. Just that way I can actually keep training a bit.
Don't buy an exercise bike. Just get a gym membership and use the bike.
No, I do. Yeah, I do. But the gym's like a 20-minute drive.
Buy a gravel bike. You'd have heaps of good gravel trails around Canberra.
Yeah.
Doesn't like going outside, Ali.
Anyway, this is about Tommy. It's about Tommy.
Yeah. Well done, Tommy. It was
Recover
well,
Thank you.
to see you like back up there running really good marathons.
Yeah.
So
thanks,
happy
Ali.
to see you at Valencia.
Yeah. One of the good guys of the sport.
So many people were so happy to see you running well.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy, I'm stopping
Thanks,
this
guys.
recording. All right, women's race. The highly anticipated Australian women's race was Leanne Pompeani, your local Croaks, Canberran, 2:24.47, which is the fastest time by an Australian on Australian soil ever. Jessica Stenson was second, 2:28.56. Had some quad issues, I think she said, towards the end of the race. And Lisa Weightman was third, 2:29.34. It's the three that everyone knew it was going to be. But in the order we thought as well, Crooks. I thought Jess was a shoo-in on that course, but yeah, had some quad issues. Leanne's tough as nails. Tough as nails.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She's the best, yeah.
I didn't really know who was going to be first here. Like in the men's, I was fairly confident that like Brett should be first Aussie there, whereas here, all three could state a case for. Jess, obviously after Gold Coast, I was a little bit concerned, and she did have like that hamstring stuff. And although when you have Jess on the podcast, like she's going to be like, especially a couple of weeks out from the race, like she's not going to say, "Oh yeah, I've been busted." Like you want to sound confident, but maybe wasn't quite as fit as she was hoping to be.
She said the workouts though were better than pre-Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jess was pretty confident, and I actually think she's fairly honest. I don't think she would shy away from saying, "Oh, I'm not sure if I'm in the same form."
Although it looks like Leanne like absolutely thumped Jess, like there wasn't much of a gap at 35k. So it was obviously once Jess's quads sort of started to play up, then obviously you start losing massive time. Because she said when she crossed the finish line and they interviewed her that she had to stop and walk at one point
down the final hill.
But Leanne, like she's so strong. Like we saw it at World Cross and runs through the flu. And a question for you two though is like we said, or you said that this course suited Jess because it was very similar to like Com Games and that sort of thing. And, for Leanne to run 2:24.47 on this sort of course, like, is that the equivalent of a 2:22 low on a flat course?
Yeah, the course has got to be worth 2 minutes, I was saying to people. I said that to her afterwards. I said, you go to do what you did today, flat course, we're starting to get in Australian, like, record territory.
Well, I think like she's
and the fact that this is only her second one.
And I'm sounding like you.
Also,
yeah, exactly. I'm sounding like you now, where I'm just throwing out an Aussie record. But given that it's only her second, and I feel like she's still got so much more upside from the strength component than where she's currently at.
I'm saying territory as well. I'm not saying she's going to go out and do it, but like it's got to be in that minute window somewhere.
Yeah,
and they're still learning.
Leanne's similar to Jess. Leanne's similar to Jess, I reckon. Like she's such a good cross country runner, and these kind of courses really suit her. Like Jess, she didn't run a whole lot faster on what was it, Tokyo than she had at Daegu, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, she ran a minute. No, she did. She ran a minute faster.
A lot of time early as well. She went sub 220 in the first half.
That's right. Yeah, but I mean, it's actually incredible that her first two marathons have been sub 225, particularly this one on this course. Like everybody always knew Leanne was going to make a great marathoner, and she's just like, she can endure more pain than most. I think she's next level. We all probably everybody knows that even more now after listening to her flu escapades. I was actually worried that was going to have taken it out of her. Like, I thought that flu was still pretty close to the race. You know how sometimes you get that lingering fatigue after a nasty virus like that, and just with how much running she'd done then, I was like, oh, I wonder if she's going to sort of still be paying for that. But then, I mean, absolutely not at all. She was,
and
amazing.
So down to earth as well. Like, she was at the pub afterwards, Croaks. Wouldn't know that she'd just won. I think she won a bit of cash. We were buying her drinks. We're going to have to get reimbursed, Moose and I, for a couple of transactions that we made.
No, you got to buy her drinks.
That's what I said.
That was,
good to see Lisa as well. Like, I talked to her after the race, and she was kind of, discussed her age and how she's been in the sport for so long, and still to be able to come to a big race like that and run under 2:30 is definitely worth a shout out as well.
Yeah.
10K. You got something?
Well, just like, I think some of the big news, especially the media has definitely got hold of this, was the three of them embracing at the finish line. Lisa gave Leanne a kiss on the cheek, and then gave Jess a kiss on the cheek, and it was almost like they'd sort of buried the hatchet from the pre-Olympic sort of drama. Which
there was an article today about, because Lisa said some stuff at the start line.
Yeah. So basically, let's put it behind us and let's get out here and enjoy it. And obviously, when they crossed the line, like, all three of them were embracing, and it was a pretty good sight to see, really.
They were all pretty cooked at the end too.
Yeah,
like, you embrace anyone at the end of the.
Well, that's it.
I don't mean. Maybe, you know what I mean, though, as well.
Yeah.
I'll embrace anyone at the end of the finish line. That is Sydney. Let's go back and thank some Patreon supporters. There was a 10K. Zach Faccioni ran 28.51, beat Ed Goddard in 29.23. Jenny Blundell, Moose's mate from the cross-country champs last week, she ran 33.34, beat Jennifer Clancy in 35.11. We should also note, because there were so many DNFs from that women's race, all those girls were top 10, like, overall. I think even, is it Abigail
Nordberg?
Yeah, she was 10th as well. So
run crew. She was. And
they all got
10th.
That's pretty good money, I think,
extra
for being top 10 in a major, and they're paying US.
Yeah,
someone did put that in the group chat yesterday.
Yeah, so I reckon Leanne.
What was Leanne across the line?
7th.
She was 7th. Jess was 8th. Lisa 9th, and Abby 10th.
So I think Leanne gets probably another 10, just over 10,000 Aussie.
Yeah, she would have got 7,000 US.
Yeah. So while we've got Ellie, what were Moose's?
Sifan got 100 grand US for winning.
Yeah.
Plus another 25 US for course record.
Plus her appearance fee would have been huge.
Plus hundreds of thousands of dollars for turning up.
It would have been $1 million day for her, wouldn't it? With Nike bonuses as well.
Probably not quite $1 million, I don't reckon. But...
I heard what they pay Kipchoge at the pub.
Did you?
I heard so much stuff at the pub. Yeah. I'll tell you.
Tell us off air.
Yeah. At one stage, I said to Moose at the pub, I'm like, start writing this stuff down. We're going to need this for whispers over the next 6 weeks.
So, Ellie, now Now that you're coaching Moose again, were you disappointed to see the way that he executed that, coming off pretty much no running?
So what did he come in at?
He came in at 235 something. I'm actually not coaching him anymore, Brad. So
Good idea.
I was coaching him until it might have been until he
till the
did his
30K
back.
mark yesterday.
Yeah. Can you do you really think he listens to me anyway?
For a
I
smart
reckon
guy, it
when
was
he
one of
hurt
the
his
dumbest
back.
things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I said after, what was that behind that decision? Like his first K was 322 or something, I think. And I do not know what, like there were a group of guys. So Will, one of the guys that we train with, who was really fit, he got the flu as well, like 8 or 9 days before the race. And initially Jules was going to pace him for a bit and then just jog it in. But then Will ended up running with Jimmy Friend and Lockie, who were just running under 3 hours. And so I just assumed Jules would run with them. But yeah, no. I should have known
Well, that
better.
would have been an impressive Sunday for Moose. 42K at 4:15 pace over some hills.
Good training run. Go and do Melbourne. He will be. I haven't actually spoken to him today, but he will be so sore.
Oh yeah.
Every time he does a race, he's sore for like a week. So that will just be horrendous.
Well, he often says
Road to Sydney is going to be a good listen.
He often says just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you should. And this was like the perfect example where, like, he was talking about potentially racing Melbourne, and the best thing here would have been just get through it as easy as possible so you can actually get into some training, as opposed to being now cooked for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. I always think when he does stuff like this, like, imagine how mad he would be at me if I did that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Me or Croaks as well. Who would hear
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Want to make your next race day the best one yet? Well, dialing in your nutrition strategy is one of the most effective ways you can do that. Luckily, our show sponsor, Precision Fuel and Hydration, offers you the chance to do this in the most effective way possible. Book a free consultation with their team to fine-tune your fueling plans. Emphasis here on you, as they offer tailored advice based on your circumstances and the race you're taking on. They're there to help you achieve your goals all year long, and as mentioned, this service is free of charge and a great opportunity to ask them any questions you may have about fueling and hydrating for your race. No question is too daft for them. We've loved Precision for a long while, and this free service is another reason why. Use the link in the show notes and use code IR-SPRING2025 for 15% off your first order and start smashing those goals today. All right, Croaks, let's thank some
He'll be
Patreon
paying
supporters.
for it anyway.
He will be, yeah. Who you got?
I've got Kenneth Alsted Gorson from Oslo, and according to Strava, his 5K and 10K PBs came at this year's Drammen 10K. He went through 5K in 18:51 and finished in 38:40. Half marathon PBs 89 minutes from the 2023 Oslo half. Thanks for your support, Kenneth.
Thanks, Kenneth. Who you got, Ali?
I've got Bluey Hodgson. So we think he lives in Brisbane and has run 17:17 at the Sandgate Park Run, 37:39 at last year's Bridge to Brisbane 10K, and 81 minutes at this year's Gold Coast Half Marathon. I actually reckon Bluey used to be a run strong athlete because I know that name. I think I had some communication with him a couple of years ago. So thanks for your support, Bluey.
Quite fitting. Bluey lives in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Bluey, he was also like really friendly in his emails, like how you'd imagine someone called Bluey would be.
Yeah.
Wouldn't expect anything less from a Patreon supporter. I'm going to thank Darren Diaz. He's from Loch Gelly in Scotland. Has PBs of 17:03 for the 5K. Did that in 2018 at the Self Transcendence 5K in Edinburgh. 36:22 at the 2017 East Newark 10K. And 82 minutes. Don't you reckon I got that right, Ali? Newark?
Definitely not Newark.
Nuke.
Just fake it till you make it when you get to these Scottish names. Also ran 82 minutes at the Loch Leven Half Marathon. So Darren, massive thank you for your support of the Inside Runner podcast and all the supporters on Patreon over there. Road to Sydney cruise on air tomorrow. Also going to try and find you guys some I think I'm going to release it, Croaks, the final episode of Road to Sydney on the weekend publicly. So I want to find, because I think it's important, like Leanne should be able to tell her mates, like, hey, I've done this like detailed recap of my amazing race. Here's a way you can listen to it. Like, family and friends. I'd always hate to if there was like a 14-year-old girl that looked up to Leanne that couldn't afford our Patreon to be able to like access her, one of their stars, kind of talking about one of their best races. So I do want to have a bit of an exclusive Patreon content show with some other people at the end of this week as well. So keep an eye out for that one. But you guys will definitely get Road to Sydney tomorrow evening, Wednesday morning, depending on how long they go for. Other running news. Thanks to Axel Coffee Roasters for bringing us this week's race results. They have a new special Father's Day blend. Check it out at axelcoffee.com.au. You had a go at it yet, Croaks?
Tomorrow morning I am actually going to crack open the beans. I got beans this time, so I had to use up my old beans that were in that canister.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, but I've been out of town for a while, so looking forward to also getting into it this week. You're going to tell us about Diamond League?
Yeah, so this was the Diamond League final in Zurich. It happened early hours of Friday morning, so I was watching this up in our apartment. So women's 800, so Wero from Switzerland, she got the win, 155.91, which was a national record. Hunter Burl second, 155.96, which was PB for her, and Burgoyne was third, 156.97. We had Sarah Billings in the race. She finished seventh, 158.76. Went through 400 in 56 seconds. Wero was like on the front, just kept sort of driving it. Hunter Bell got sort of caught up maybe with 200 to go, and then sort of really started to make her move with 150 to go, but couldn't quite run the winner down the straight. So that was a women's 800.
She's Swiss too, isn't she, Wero? Is she Swiss?
Swiss, yep.
Yeah, that would have been cool in front of her home crowd.
Yeah, because she finished, I think, second or third in the Lausanne Diamond League with like a really strong finish over the last 100, whereas this time she was the one that was sort of driving the pace.
Wow.
So she'll be one to watch at World Champs. In the men's, Wanyonyi got the win there, 142.37. Max Bergen, second, 142.42. And Aerop was third, 142.57. 49 seconds through 400. Wanyonyi opened up a gap down the back straight. This was actually a really good finish. It looked like Bergen was going to run him down in the straight, but those races where every time the person who's chasing gets up to the leader, they just find a little bit more, and then you think, oh, he's going to go again. And Wanyonyi was able to just keep responding and held off for the win. Women's 1500. This was this was pretty entertaining. So they went through 400 in 61 and a half, through 800 in 203, and Jess was leading at this point. Jess Hull, that is. She had a few meters on Chepchirchir at the bell, and 15 meters to the rest of the field. She actually increased her lead down the back straight, where with 200, or Jess had maybe 150 to go, and you're like, well, she can't lose from here. And then the last 80, you could see her just starting to tie up. And her last 30, she was just climbing stairs to the point that Nelly Chepchirchir was able to come over the top. So she ran 356.99. Jess was second, 357.02. And Lyndon Hall had a really good finish to finish third in 357.44.
That was crazy.
Crazy.
I've never seen you know how we just so used to seeing Jess look so strong down the finishing straight. It was like, and you could see it happening from, I reckon it just before 100 meters to go, she sort of looked up at the screen or something, and you could almost tell, oh, she's hurting here. And then it just was like, got worse and worse and worse and worse. Yeah. And then I think we knew as well, even the commentators spoke about that wildcard spot being on the line for the Aussie women, which would be amazing with, how many girls we've got under the qualifier. And then it was like, oh no, just, yeah.
She couldn't lift her legs. You watch that, they had some slow-mo stuff and her legs were hardly coming off the ground. It was never seen it ever. I think Steve Cram said that as well. It's like, you see that at the end of marathons. She must just gone so hard. Do you reckon having the wave lights there, she was just staying on them? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like
she had the, you know what I mean? Like, she had the race.
Yeah.
If you just look at win the race, it's like, cool, she's won the race. But then because you put the wave lights there, she's like, now stay next to the wave lights and win the race.
I
She
reckon
just
Jess
so
likes
aggressive.
I think she likes using race, which sounds crazy to use the Diamond League final, but it's like she uses races to practice all those things though, like testing herself and before
Wasn't it
these major
50 grand for the
championships.
win?
Yeah, it
I think
was.
though, I don't know. I reckon once you start to get to that level where Jess is at, it's not necessarily about them. Like, yes, winning $50,000 instead of 30,000 for second, like it's a lot of money, but it's not the driving force for her. And the only thing I can think of is why she ran so hard was that from a training point of view and getting yourself prepared for Tokyo, going and absolutely rinsing yourself in a race like that is going to be more beneficial in a few weeks' time than just doing what she had to do to win. That's the only reason I can think that she would do that, because the one thing that I have been a little bit disappointed with Jess this season is basically from the time that she was in college, the thing that she's always done so well is tactically brilliant. And she wins the silver medal at the Olympics. And then since then, it's like she's been really, really aggressive, almost like she's the next Faith Kipchoge. And there's been a few times this season where she's been so aggressive that she has actually been run down in the home straight, which I just hope at the World Champs she goes back to being a bit more of the tactically astute Jess Hull. So probably not a popular opinion, but from an outside,
you can't go saying that you're disappointed in Jess Hull.
No, but I think
you're a guy on a podcast.
Ellie, do I have a valid?
Yeah, but it's just the way you worded it.
You have a valid point, but I
Uncle
think
Croaks
I know
is
what you
disappointed in
mean.
you.
I think you're right. Like I don't think that's what she's going to do at Tokyo. I think she's practicing and learning what it feels like at different points in the race when she does that. Like I think this is actually all part of her preparation.
She can do what she wants.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just
that's
putting
it.
it out
Sacrificing a couple of races by really just seeing
what about this paddle discussion
happens.
as well, Ali? I brought up, Croak said he reckons a 3-hour 30 marathon is more impressive than what Jess Hull's done because more people can relate to a 3-hour 30 marathon.
You've just changed the whole. You've just changed the complete context of that.
And he doesn't even put in half the people's results sometimes. Like he's so elitist, and now he's like, well, I had to push back because Mitch Dyer's like, yeah, everyone in the world can relate to marathons. It's so good. Then I'm like, no, I think it's more impressive what Jess Hull does than like 3-hour 30 marathoners. And then Croaks goes, yeah, I agree with Mitch. And then Moose is like, yeah, I agree with Mitch as well. And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm going to stop talking on this panel.
The context of this
no one does in the world.
Relatability, was it?
I find
people get up early before work. Jess Hull doesn't have to get up early before work, does she? And I'm like, Jess Hull, no, she's a world record holder. She's one of one.
Yeah, the context of
weird,
that.
Ali.
The context of that, though.
No, we don't need context, mate. Just move on.
No, I'm going to go to the context.
What was 3K?
You coach people, Ellie, that have full-time jobs, families, and running means so much to them that they're out there at 4 a.m. to get it done. Whereas, like obviously Jess is one of the best in the world, but like that is her full-time job, and she gets to train at good hours in lovely location. So I get really emotional and get super inspired by the people that are actually fitting all of this in around their normal lives. So that was the context of it, Brady.
It was very weird, Ali. Very weird.
I think Jess is still pretty inspiring too. I know what you mean by that. Like it is amazing what some people do to get their marathon training in. But
Look, and if Jess was on the show right now, I would not have an issue asking her about her tactics this year in terms of being so aggressive. So I just hope
coming again now. You've seen me disappointed.
I just hope for the World Champs she just goes back to not maybe being quite as aggressive.
She will. I actually heard an interview as well, which she said, I can't remember who it was asking her. She actually said she felt tired and her legs felt a bit dead earlier than she expected. So she was like, it was good. I just know now that I need to freshen up. And I know the fitness is there. My legs are just a bit tired. I need to focus on freshening up now. Yeah. So she's had a pretty big season really, hasn't she?
Yeah. Laros got the win in the men's 1500, 329.2, which is a national record. He absolutely smoked them again in the last 100. Like, I think he goes into world champs as favourite, just the way that he's
Yeah, do you
finishing these
reckon?
races. Yeah,
I
I
was
think
thinking
so.
that too.
Just the way he's...
Burner speed.
What's
And
that,
he's
sorry?
just coming into it at the right time, isn't he? Like
Yep.
a few weeks
Just got that
before.
turn of speed.
He does, yeah. Reynolds Chariot was second, 329.91. Koech was third, 330.02. 3K women's, Bellene, she ran 840.56 with a 60-second last lap. Josette Andrews was second, 840.95, and Amabor was third in 841. We had Georgia Griffith, who was fourth in 841 as well. Rose Davies was ninth in 846. So I thought Georgia
was very
quite well.
close to third.
Yeah, she rallied really well down the home straight when she didn't look so great with maybe 200 to go. Men's 3K, I reckon this was a bit of an upset. Jimmy Gressier got the win, 736.78, beat Grant Fisher, 736.81, and Almgren was third, 736.82. So it was a massive burn up because the lights were set for 722. And they went through 1K in 227. At that point, they let the paces go, and then it became a tactical affair. Ran a 239 for the second K, and then with 200 to go, there was still 8 in it, and they all just sort of timed their sprints at different points. And Gressier was able to get the win, which I wouldn't have picked that.
No, and he sort
Brady?
of came from further back, didn't he, too?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
At the end.
And then last one, steeple, Rupert got the win in 809.02, beat Serum 809.96, and Cheritich won the women's 857. She beat Gerudo 9:10. So my only criticism of the Diamond League final is the way that World Athletics are doing this season now, where they're finishing with world champs, is the Diamond League final is actually losing a little bit of its luster because a lot of the top guys are just going, hey, I'm going to go back and train now for 2 weeks before the world champs. So it's probably
Yeah. Did you think? I actually thought though that the addition of the wild card made it exciting.
that
Despite
aspect
that.
of it's really definitely that aspect's really good. But I wouldn't say that men's 1500 fine, but that men's 1500 meter race, the depth wasn't as good as some of the other Diamond Leagues we've had this season.
Oh no, but it's
Guys
pretty
like Cam and stuff
strong
come
though.
Yeah.
Laros,
Aren't they also
Chariot,
strong?
Koech.
It's going to be
Yeah.
strong, but it's just a few of the top people aren't there. Like, there's no Beatrice Chibet, there's no Faith Kipchoge, like the
Yeah.
genuine stars aren't there.
Yeah. I don't know. I disagree. I think I found it really enjoyable to watch, knowing that there was some extra motivation there for different people, and
Yeah, like Hoey and Nagoose.
And they were
Yeah.
both so cooked, they got nowhere
Yeah.
near it.
Yeah, and
No,
even for for watching Jess, for her to win, to give us that extra spot, stuff like that was kind of extra storylines. But
Yep. Yeah, that's a good aspect of it. I guess I just see that the Diamond League final is should be the best of the best. But yeah.
Thanks to Axel Coffee for this week's running news. They have a new special Father's Day blend, so check it out at axelcoffee.com.au. That leads on to some whispers and croaks on the loose here. One of the whispers around the selection of the team to the World Champs. I've heard some stuff, can't repeat it, but there may be some controversial decisions there, Croaks.
You're not going to mention any of them?
Nah, I won't
No?
mention them. But I just thought there was, could have been
wait
a
till
clean way
it's
to, because there's appeals going
selected,
as well.
because we don't know exactly.
We don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know the same stuff. We're all in the same chat.
And
But
even
it's-
we've heard different things as well about some of the events. So
Yep.
haven't we?
But appeals potentially in process at the moment. And just when you thought maybe they could have got a clean run at this one, there could be some more
Nope.
news articles coming out. Depending on what happens.
Controversy.
Yeah. Andy Buchanan, talking point, stress reaction in the femur. That's not good. 2.5 weeks out from World Champs. He was on the
Not good
roads
at all.
He was on the roads of Sydney on the weekend though.
I heard though he hasn't ruled it out. I saw
I
an
watched that
interview
video
or a
thing.
thing where he just said he's going to take a week off. He's still going to go to Cairns for the staging camp. But it'd be unlikely, wouldn't it, that he'd race?
Ali's the physio here.
Yeah, it depends. I asked Jules. I think Julian saw him, and I asked him where the stress reaction was, and I think it's in the shaft, rather like neck of femur is really risky spot for a stressy. So you would be much more cautious if it was there, but apparently it's not there, and only very low grade. So like he might be okay, but he'll know if he tests it out before the run. He'll know if it's not right. Because the other thing is sometimes you have an MRI and it shows like the early stages of a stress reaction, and then you have an MRI 2 weeks later and it looks a lot worse, even if you haven't actually been loading it. So yeah, I think Andy's had a femoral stressy before, I reckon. So he'll probably, he'll know if it's not right when he starts running again. But if it's really mild, there's definitely a chance he could still run. I guess you just always, with a bone stress injury, you're always at risk of turning a stress reaction into a big crack and then being out for months afterwards. So I guess he has to weigh that up and sort of see how it feels leading into the race and make a call closer. I mean, there's no, like, you couldn't throw anyone else into the marathon at this point anyway, could you?
Yet.
No one else is qualified anyway. No one was in the top 100 quota.
Tim Vincent, Liam Buden, the other two going. Geez, he would have killed that course yesterday if he didn't have a...
Yeah.
That is the perfect course for him, that Sydney Marathon course. Croaks on the loose. They've got Jack Brainerd to do Melbourne Marathon Croaks, but we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. Been a long show as it is.
So my Croaks on the... I got home last night, driving home from Sydney, and on the news was the Sydney Marathon. And, you know, they showed the winners crossing the line. I reckon they had Leanne on for 5 seconds, and then the next 2 minutes was talking about all of these Guinness Book of World Records that had occurred during the marathon. And like some of this stuff is just absolute crap. Like fastest marathon dressed as a surfer. Like who cares? Like that is not a thing. Or fastest marathon dressed as a mechanic. Fastest marathoner dressed in a school uniform. The most pairs of undies worn during a marathon. It's like, why are people doing this stuff? Is it just a bit of look at me time? Like, it just does my head in.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, and so
sometimes it's to raise money.
So irrelevant world records that get way too much airtime. That is basically my Croaks on the loose, because, you know, do we have a world record for people that live in Echuca that were born in the 80s? Like it's such a real niche thing.
Who wore a white singlet?
Yeah, but although we interviewed him on Thursday night on the Harbour Cruise, like Leo Pedersen, he finished 30 seconds behind Tommy Do Canto at City to Surf. Like he should be out there having a fair dinkum crack at the this marathon, not running in a suit, which he probably wouldn't even get the record. Like, did he get the record, Brady, but not put in the paperwork? Or like, do you know what the record was?
Because there was another guy passed. I passed a few blokes in suits on Sunday morning. You do get to see different things when you slow it down a bit, Croaks, out there. But then, there's some Malaysian guy on his Instagram, like with the Guinness World Record people, like they're shaking his hand at the finish line here.
That's the school uniform, which looks like a suit.
It's a different one.
Yeah, and he ran 2 hours 44 or something. It just does my head in that, you know, you have Leanne on the TV for like a split second, and these people are getting.
Now we're talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I just don't know I just don't know what inspires somebody to go, hey, I want to be in this book for a record that actually doesn't mean anything. Or
I would have much preferred to see Leo go run 2:23, 2:22, 2:21, then run 2:30 in a suit.
Yeah, that was some good audio though from your from your boat thing.
Moose had just built him up.
I liked that a lot. Good on you for going out there and having a crack in a road marathon.
Coming from the trails, good on you.
If only you could see.
Very noble of you, didn't he say?
Yeah, if only you could see Moose's face when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be running in a suit, hanging out with you guys."
Trying to break a Guinness World Record. Oh,
he must have went past Moose at like 34K
trying to trigger Jules when he said that. I was like, he's saying this to try and get Jules going.
No, he'd
And
never
then I was
heard the
like,
show
oh, no.
before.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
He thought Zach was one of the co-hosts about 5 minutes before we started when I introduced him. He goes, oh, so it's you, Zach, and who's the other guy? And I'm like, no, Zach he's selling ad space. Good, Croaks. I enjoyed that from you. Listener question. Let's bring this show home.
This episode's listener question is proudly brought to you by Precision Fuel and Hydration. And the question is, what are your strategies for staying motivated during solo runs?
You don't have strategies. It's just what you do. And you do it for long enough that it just becomes your routine.
Yeah.
And, have good songs to listen to. You get good podcasts to listen to. Yeah, you run in different spots. Maybe mix up a bit of a treadmill now and then and get a bit of a YouTube playlist going. And you just it's just what you got to do. So you just do it. Yeah. If you really want to improve and get the best out of yourself and reach the goals that you set for yourself, it's just something you got to do.
And if you're struggling with motivation, sign up for an event and hopefully training for that event gets you motivated to go out for a long run.
Yeah, or chase a Guinness World Record or something. Have a look which one you can go for and make it all about yourself.
I also reckon never give yourself the option to so whatever you set out to do, never give yourself an option to cut your run short or not run because you're running by yourself or whatever. You just don't even let that thought enter your mind.
The first 10 minutes, if you're umming and ahhing, it's the first 10 minutes is the worst. Once you're actually out the door and you're 15, 20 minutes into the run, you're like, this is fine.
Well, even if you got to play tricks on yourself, I had 45 minutes today and I thought it was 40. So the whole day I thought it was 40 and then I checked my program just before I went and it was 45. And I'm like, all right, if I feel shit, I'll just make it 35, 40. But the minute you get out there, you're like, oh, this is going to be what it has to be to get a green tick.
Another one is don't do a course where you run. So let's say you drive to the run. Don't do a course where you are actually going to be going back past the car at an early stage. At an early stage of the run. Do
Gold
a loop
Coast marathon finish line.
Do a loop where you're actually forced to go the full distance because if you're doing a 20K run and you're going past the car at 10K, it's not a good strategy.
Do you guys ever call people when you're out on a solo run?
Yeah, I do. I did that this morning actually.
Yeah. You catch up with mates that you can't catch up with running?
Yeah. Or just people, I feel like when I'm at home with the kids, it's hard to call people because they yell at me, Tiggy. So I actually it's often a nice time for me to call someone and catch up when I'm running. I find it easier to do that. And it goes so quick. It makes the run go really fast. So that's actually a really good one.
Yeah. I've never done it, but that could be a good way to have some company on your solo runs.
I call my mum sometimes too when I'm bored. I think she's like, oh, she's running again. It's all windy and
company. Yeah, she can't hear what you're saying.
She's ringing me for no reason.
We've got watching Netflix, Croaks, and Netflix while you're doing workouts, and you call people while you're jogging.
Oh, imagine the poor person at the other end just hearing you heavy breathing.
Have to get the heart. You'd want to be fit.
This morning I actually had to run a different loop. I had to turn around. I'd see on my Strava I was running into the headwind. And so I had to turn around because it was so windy that my friend couldn't hear me. I was like, I'll do a different loop.
Thanks to Precision Fuel and Hydration. Visit precisionhydration.com. Use the code IR-SPRING2025, all caps, for 15% off your first order. What's coming up? Burnley Half Marathon, World Champs team to be announced. Be prepared to be shocked for the second
one. When are they announcing it? Do you know?
No.
I think it was probably meant to, I heard Tuesday, which is tomorrow, but often these things get delayed when there's appeals.
All right. You're not running Burnley on the weekend, Ellie? You could have done that.
Nah, I'm not. I'm away. Well, I'm not allowed to race yet, but
would have been a nice one to re-enter.
Yeah,
with the boys.
Yeah, I haven't been a good member of the Pussycats this year. Haven't done any races yet, but
they're right though. They won't get relegated.
No, it's just the blokes.
I don't think so. Nah, I think they're okay. They've actually had a few really good ones this year.
Yes, Moose could have went easy in Sydney yesterday and then come out and ran for Geelong this weekend. Yeah,
Yeah,
not going to be
nah,
able to help the
there's
team
no way
now.
he'll be able to run a half this weekend.
Yeah. All right, Crux, what are you doing in your life between now and next week?
Nothing exciting, Brady. Just getting back into the routine after big weekend in Sydney.
Ali, what's going up in your life that's not running related stuff?
I'm going to WA because Jose is turning 40. So we're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
go over to Yallingup for the week on Wednesday.
Couple of
So,
Bundaberg rums for Joe. Jose?
yeah.
Or Bundies?
Woodstock cans.
You
Who
know that
knows?
audio when you're on a couple of weeks ago, you could just hear like cans opening in the background. I reckon he had four cans
Uh,
in that recording time.
So he's got Father's Day and birthday.
yeah, yeah. Birthday is not till the following Thursday, and yeah,
Okay.
Father's Day Sunday. So I don't know what we're going to do. Apparently, it's going to be windy and rainy the whole time we're there. But if anyone has any suggestions of where to run down there, because I've got to try and work out where I'm going to do my sessions and stuff.
Strava heat maps. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was
Good
actually on
function.
that today, having a
Yeah.
look. Yeah, so now that'll be fun. Little holiday.
All right, team. Thank you so much for filling in. Ali, we'll be back with Moose and regular programming as of next week, Croaks. Should
Look
be
forward
good.
to it.
Might light you up after you had a couple of cracks at him tonight. And yeah, we'll do it all again. See you
ya.
guys.
See you
Bye.
guys.
There's a young man.
Want to make your next race day the best one yet? Well, dialing in your nutrition strategy is one of the most effective ways you can do that. Luckily, our show sponsor, Precision Fuel and Hydration, offers you the chance to do this in the most effective way possible. Book a free consultation with their team to fine-tune your fueling plans. Emphasis here on you, as they offer tailored advice based on your circumstances and the race you're taking on. They're there to help you achieve your goals all year long, and as mentioned, this service is free of charge and a great opportunity to ask them any questions you may have about fueling and hydrating for your race. No question is too daft for them. We've loved Precision for a long while, and this free service is another reason why. Use the link in the show notes and use code IR-SPRING2025 for 15% off your first order and start smashing those goals today.